Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the Edify Cinema Summer Camp info session. I am here with Jamie Fleming. My name is Jess O'Brien. I'm the Executive Director of Beaufort Digital Corridor, and we are very excited to host the first ever Cinema Summer Camp this year. So, good evening, Jamie. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your organization?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Jess, and the Beaufort Digital Corridor for having me. My name is Jamie. I'm the founder of Edify. Edify is an organization that specializes in creating film assets for nonprofits and mission-driven agencies. So basically, what that means is that we create film. We say film, but video, high professional, highly cinematic video for nonprofits and other mission-driven organizations.
That's wonderful. And why don't you tell us a little bit more about the summer camp? I have the page pulled up. We have June 9th through the 13th, which is next week, ages 12 through 15. Walk us through what a day in the camp looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. So this would actually be our third cohort of students that we've worked with. And really it's I think it's a pretty unique time, a pretty fun time. All of the students that we've worked with, they all have seemed to enjoy themselves. They've learned a lot. The great thing about our summer camps is that or the great thing about our youth cohorts, including this summer camp, is that it is an opportunity for students of this age group to learn real job skill sets, right? So we teach youth how to create, shoot, write, direct, produce their own films using industry standard equipment. So all of our gear, Netflix approved cameras, Netflix cameras, so we're talking about very high-end cameras. Students get to put their hands on these pieces of equipment. They get to use them. They get to really learn them inside and out. One of the cool things, kids are always, well, students, I should say, they always want to know, hey, how much is this? How much is this? Right? And as soon as I tell them, well, like that camera's $5,000 or that camera's 7,000, or 8,000, it gets them even more excited. And I'm just like, please don't break it, But nonetheless, when our students finish a cohort, some of them are even able to earn paid spots. So they can come work with us. I just hired, one of our students from our last cohort. He will be working the entire summer with us. He will be traveling to go to different experiences. We have film shoots up in Maryland. We're doing a conference out in New York City, and so this is a really unique experience for him. So yeah, so that's the really cool thing is that not only will they learn actual job skill sets, they have the potential for those who are very serious. They have the potential to even work and earn income with us through real world application.
That's incredible. One thing you mentioned before we got on this call was lighting, and I'm going to adjust my lighting really quick.
That was the first thing I saw too when you came on. I was like, oh.
A little bit better lighting here.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So I have the page pulled up. We have a drop off and pickup schedule. Drop off 8:45 to 9 a.m. What that looks like is parents, when you enter the Beaufort Digital Corridor, from the outside, it has a big sign that says Base Camp. It's on 500 Carteret Street, in between the United Methodist Church and us. There's a parking lot. The sign says Base Camp. You can either park on the street for free, or if you're parking just to drop off your kid, don't worry about it. Come right in. We're going to have a clipboard with their name, your contact sheet, which has all of your emergency contact information, any allergies, food, any additional things we might need to know medical wise. We're going to sign in who is dropping them off, who you expect to pick them up. So if you have somebody else that's planning on picking them up, grandma, uncle, aunt, we'll need to get that information down so we know exactly who each kid is going with. And then the same thing, when you come to pick them up, we make sure the right kid is with the right person. We ask all parents to come in the building to pick up the kids. We do not let the kids out into the parking lot just for safety. We want to make sure every kid is identified with an adult. And pickup is at 3 p.m. Uh, we will stay there with your child until they are picked up. Hopefully, it won't be past too much past 3 p.m. You try to get there on time to pick them up. The schedule, what that looks like Monday through Thursday is 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Friday, the schedule is 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. because we want students to go home and get some rest and prepare to come back Friday night. 7 p.m. kicks off a student film premiere night with the parents. So doors are going to open at 6:45 for you to come back in with the students and premiere their films. They're going to be really excited to show you what they've been working on all week. So another update is lunch is now going to be provided daily for the campers. We'll likely do Chick-fil-A one day, some Jimmy John's another day, and a variety, maybe pizza by the time Friday rolls around, with some fresh fruit and some healthy options as well. So if anyone has any specific allergies or dietary restrictions, you're encouraged to pack and bring your own lunch. We will have a fridge space available for anyone to store their food, and that will be available. So, Jamie, why don't you walk us through this agenda and what this looks like in terms of the day by day breakdown?
Absolutely, Jess. So, what we have done is, we've taken our we have a curriculum and we've truncated it into this 1 week summer camp. And so, in order to get students to the place where at the end of this, or yes, at the end of this, that they have a film that they can showcase. We have to teach them, we have to start from the basics, and that's teaching them the essence of storytelling. Um, Everybody has a story, right? Or maybe they may not feel that their story is that worth telling. Um, but maybe they might know the stories of others or the stories of their families. And so we help young people at the beginning of the summer camp to understand what it is to look at a story, dissect a story, piece the story together. What does that look like in terms of being able to film, right? To film the story. So they will learn the basics of like script writing, the basics of really storyboarding. We'll teach them how to do a real generic film treatment. And then, with that, that will be the groundwork for them to then take that and start shooting. And, right about, it looks like it's actually the second day, that's when they'll learn about lighting. I'll tell you one thing, Jess, you mentioned it when you started the meeting. You're like, man, you realize that your lighting wasn't on point. Lighting really makes a difference, right? I don't care. You could have a $100,000 camera and have really poor lighting, and the cinematic experience is just flat, right? So we teach them about lighting and how light and adding light or subtracting light helps to create the compelling narratives, the compelling visuals, for the narratives. So, we do that, and then of course, obviously, shooting and learning how to shoot. So again, I told you they'll be using, heavy duty cameras. I don't know if you can see this on my camera, but this is a Netflix cam. We have documentary cams that they'll be able to use. So, they'll put their hands on these and we've got even little specialized cams. I have this tiny micro cam right here. And so the kids love this. Like they love this. So this micro cam is actually a professional cam that people use. So they'll have access to all of this gear. So the imaginations that they have to create a story, they'll have access to all this gear. Obviously, we have a week, so we're not talking about kids creating the next Mission Impossible, but the stories that they will be able to create with their imaginations and with this gear, it's going to be very compelling. And I think not only will they be pleased as the creators, but I think parents and fellow community members will also enjoy what they see.
That's great. One thing I know parents might have a question on are this bullet point that says on location and indoor filming sessions guided. Can you give a little bit more information about the on location and the setting the students will be in?
Yeah, absolutely. So, what we envision there is, obviously, here, probably, in and around, kind of walking around the parameters of downtown Beaufort, not going too far, just like maybe a block or two. That's going to be essential for collecting what's called B-roll footage. So we'll have kids, students, we'll be there with them. I'll show them what is B-roll, right? And for parents that may be watching and are curious to know what B-roll is, it's essentially the additional footage that helps tell the story. It's not footage that is necessarily of the subject matter. It could be something like trees or a dog barking or, the wind blowing and you see a woman's hair just kind of lightly going to the side. So capturing these moments and then stitching it all together to be able to create a compelling visual.
Yes, that's great. And I know you mentioned we, so I'm going to tell everybody a little bit more about the camp counselors. So first off, Jamie Fleming is the head instructor and the leader of the summer camp. I will be assisting on site as a volunteer for the day with just a summer camp counselor. We also have an additional volunteer named Nick. Everyone is background checked and certified, so rest assured your kids will be safe and in a good environment. And everyone will have my cell phone number. If they need to get in touch with any of us at any point, they can call me day of the camp. I'll have it on, ready to go.
And also too, and we'll have somebody that's fairly, young and close to their age. Like I said, we just hired one of our former students. So he will be here. His name is KJ. Outstanding young man. And yeah, so he'll be participating and be, also being closer to the age of the participants, really being able to connect. And furthermore, having gone through, a cohort, he knows what time it is, and he'll be able to give a really great helping hand.
That's perfect. Well, walk us through day four, the edit and elevate day.
Yeah. So from there, what we'll do is we'll start taking a look at, what the participants have captured. We will start piecing it together. I'll go through with the participants, certain things like sound design. We'll talk about if they want to include music. So there are subscription sites that Edify has subscriptions to. And we can get some royalty-free music. So I'll show the participants that and how that helps to also tell the story. So at that point, we're stitching everything together and getting it, prepared, ready to go. And then come Friday, we'll have the opportunity to look at all of this, right? And if there's any last minute, fixes, edits, anything like that, we'll piece it together. We'll have the preparation, totally in place for the event later that evening, and then from there we'll have the youth showcase their films and also provide them with a certificate. And oh, one last thing, and we'll also have the youth sit up front and sit in the director's chair and give their family members, community members the opportunity to talk to them about the films that they have created.
That's amazing. What a good opportunity for them.
Absolutely. And, I do want to stress this to parents, especially as in that age group, kids, young people really start to formulate, their in their minds, kind of like, ideas of things they may want to do later in life. Video is such a massive part of all of our lives, right? You think about TikTok, you think about Instagram Reels, Facebook stories, and we are really all a part of this, right? We either subscribe to it, we watch these reels or these videos. My wife, she watches TikTok a lot to learn a lot of things for her career. Um, and there are people really making money off of this. And the other thing I want to say is there are a lot of filming opportunities that are happening in the Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina area. Netflix is filming a documentary in Columbia this summer. One of my favorite shows, The Righteous Gemstones, filmed all throughout in Charleston and surrounding areas. You have a couple other documentaries that will be filmed in the surrounding areas. So this is a great opportunity to have young people, put their hands on the equipment that they could potentially, be working with. If they like these films, if they like these movies, Marvel films a lot out in Atlanta. Here's an opportunity for them to touch the equipment that people are using in these productions. And then lastly, if you have young people that are interested in being social media commentators or making money doing social media, I mean, this is a good way to get them um, to really get them to understand the time and the type of equipment that's used to create some of the more polished social media streams that they see.
That's perfect. What else have I not asked about that you wanted to provide any kind of additional context about? How excited are you?
I'm always excited. I always have a real serious face, but when I'm working with young people, it's just I'm in a really great element because you know I don't know. I mean, I just like working with young people, helping them to really see their potential and helping them to um, really understand that, because you're getting older, becoming an adult, right? It doesn't mean that you still can't have fun or do the things that you love to do and earn a living. So recently, we just had some of our students who participated in our last cohort that graduated from high school. And I'm just really ecstatic, with those students. But they asked me at the last minute, of course, they asked me like, "Hey, Mr. Jamie, can you come out and film, our graduation? Just kind of get some highlights of us or whatever." And I took one of our other students who were part of that cohort. So he and I went out there and just caught some real quick clips, and we pieced it together. And what we created is something that they can take with them for a lifetime, right? And that's what I really want our students to be well aware of. Their stories are powerful. Their journeys throughout this thing we call life. It's an amazing, an experience, right? Especially at this point in time in life. What better way to capture this than to be able to do it in a way that truly does each story justice? Capture it in a very cinematic way. Have something that you can share not only with your family, but years down the line, right? These guys, they're going to be able to share this graduation video, with their families, with their children and so on and so forth. And that is what I get excited about because we are helping to cement legacies, through visual storytelling.
That is incredible. Do you actually have available a quick example reel to pull up if I stop sharing my screen and you want to share yours?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey,
All right. So, I'm a tech guy, but let me figure this out.
um,
I see. So share. Okay. So let me go to YouTube. Give me a second, guys. All right, let me pull up Edify. And I really appreciate this opportunity, Jess. I mean, this is it's really great that you're allowing me to have an opportunity to speak to parents and answer any questions.
Oh yeah, no, we are very, very excited. We just want to make sure that, with any time where you're doing something for the first time in a brand new camp, people don't know what they don't know. So I don't want anyone to miss the opportunity for their students to participate just based on not knowing what it is. So if anyone has any questions that don't get answered from today's info session, please email us in advance, angela@beaufortdigital.com or info@beaufortdigital.com, and we'll take care of that.
All right, so I'm going to share. So it says screens. Okay, so I'll just share my desktop.
And while everyone's waiting, what I can do is answer a couple of other questions from the FAQs page. Another thing on the FAQs, we hadn't updated that bottom footer where it says students are required to bring their own lunch. They are not required again unless they have any kind of food or allergy. We will provide lunches every day. Um, And parking, again, on the street is free, but you shouldn't if you're just dropping off. We shouldn't have to worry about parking. Parking doesn't start charging until after 11 a.m. We are a city-owned building, so we will be upstairs in the Hargray classroom. It is a Hargray classroom setting for the first meeting location of the day before we do some of the on-site film works. Again, we will be with the students at all times if we go downtown to the waterfront park to film any footage. Uh, and you will have my cell phone number. But I'm going to pass it back over to Jamie because he's got the footage up and is ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I'm going to share is just a quick reel. Jess, if you don't mind, I'm going to share two things. This is literally like a 50-second reel. Some of the footage in here, it's footage that the youth have either captured, or they have worked with us to capture. So it's one or the other. Okay. Um, can you see my screen?
Yep.
All right, excellent.
Nice. It's not playing the sound, but for anyone who is watching, we will make sure this is shared on social media too, so you can hear the sound of it because the dramatics that Jamie puts into these productions and teaches these students really captures emotion very well. And I want everyone to feel the emotion, not only from the visuals, but the music that goes with it. Nice.
So that's again just some footage that either students have worked with us to capture or students captured on their own. And then I'm going to show one more thing. Jess, do you know how to share audio?
Yes, let me see if
I mean, if you want me to, I can send you a link and then if you want to share it.
yeah, let's try putting it in the chat and see if that works for us.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, setting.
I just don't want to spend all that time trying to figure out the audio.
No problem. And if for some reason it does not work for us today, we're not teaching Zoom camp, thankfully. We
That's true. All right, so let me put it in the chat. There he goes. And yeah, Jess, you could just probably show like the first 30, 40 seconds of this. But this video, so these are the projects that students have created. So this is all student made. Um, one of the projects, and this may be the project that we end up doing for this summer camp, just because we have to truncate everything. But one of the projects that we had students do, we taught them documentary style interviews, right? And the reason why we did that is because there are really two reasons. One, it's something that is very easy to learn, And then two, we have students we had jobs in our pipeline where you have where we had clients that wanted this type of work. So they wanted a documentary. So we are actually wrapping up a documentary now, and we were able to take some of our students after they learned how to do this, and we took them with us on these shoots. So there we go.
let me see. I think I'm just waiting for the link to show up. There we go. Perfect. Let's see if this works. Okay, let me start sharing my screen again.
And this was purely made by our student who actually we just hired him, KJ. And not only did he make this, it's about his
Um,
father. It's his father talking.
Are you able to hear the audio on this?
wife. I have
Yes.
two girls and a boy. The two girls are the oldest. And I have a son, Kevin Mack Jr., who's the youngest. My oldest daughter, her name is Brianna Mack, and the youngest daughter is Danielle Mack. My childhood home's lifestyle was we were a survival type family, working in the field so that we can survive. I mean, my family, I'm out of seven boys and one girl. So we had an army of our own, farming, uh, fishing, surviving off the land, surviving out of the water. My best gift I ever received as a child was a motorcycle, a 200 Honda. You couldn't tell me I wasn't the guy. I was the best guy. I was the best man on Seaside Road at that time. So, all this happened after everyone else had graduated and left the house. So it was only me. Funds was left over. I got a motorcycle. Something I
Okay,
would
if you want to, you can
tell
stop
my
it,
younger
Jess.
self is,
Oh, is that Jamie?
I said if you want to, you can stop it because it's kind of long.
Yeah, but that gives a good example. So this was student shot after KJ went through your program. He was able to learn all the skills it took to shoot this very crisp, clear, emotional documentary style footage of his father and get a story that is his living legacy of his family, which is so incredible.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what was really cool about this is that KJ was also, so he had, his peers that were also part of the cohort, they worked with him to create this. So I think KJ was the one, KJ was able to envision, right, and storyboard this out. And then what we had is we had I think a multi-cam setup. And so we had two students, one on each cam, and KJ was conducting the interview with his father. So yeah, it was really, really powerful. And then he pieced all this together.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
Incredible. Thank you for sharing those examples with us. I think it's going to be crystal clear the value of the skills that these students are learning. Um,
yes, ma'am.
just some housekeeping. I'll go through a couple of these other frequently asked questions and then we'll wrap it up. So, second one is, does my child need to bring a camera or equipment or a laptop? We have about 7 laptops available if you need to have us provide one. We just need those RSVPs in advance so we know if we need to be providing the laptop. If not, the students will need to bring their own. So just let us know either way, and we're happy to accommodate. Again, where do I enter the building? It's the very front of the building that's facing the parking lot that says base camp out the front of it. As soon as you enter the building, you're going to see us. We're having a registration table right there downstairs. And then your student will walk upstairs and into the classroom. You're welcome to walk them up into the classroom if you want to see where they're going to be for a majority of the day while they're working on editing and other related classroom skills. So we encourage you to take a tour if you'd like to take a tour. How do I sign in? We will have someone there to help facilitate. Parents, can parents stay for class? We encourage you to drop students off. If for some reason that you need a special accommodation, let us know. We have accommodated in the past, but we just like the students to feel like they're not being distracted and can really dive into the work. But either way, we're happy to accommodate. How can I contact the instructor? During class, again, you will have my business card. It has my cell phone number on it. I will pick up. So you will have the ability to get in touch directly in the time of need if you need to get instant contact to your kid. And then how does pickup work? Again, we will not allow any students to wait outside. We require parents to come inside base camp to pick the students up. You might hear the word base camp and Beaufort Digital Corridor interchangeably. Beaufort Digital Corridor is the name of my organization that I run that's hosting the camp located at 500 Carteret Street. Base camp is the name of the building. So there are other businesses within the building. The city of Beaufort has their downtown operations within the base camp building. So if you hear that, I just want to make sure no one gets confused. Base Camp's the building, Beaufort Digital Corridor is the organization, and Edify is the name of the organization that is providing the curriculum and running the summer camp. So, with that being said, Jamie, do you have any final closing thoughts?
No, just that I'm super excited. I encourage all who are watching this or who will be watching this, spread the word. This is truly something that's invaluable. I'm not just saying it because I'm going to be the guy teaching it, but I've watched young people be able to take these skills and even start earning income for themselves. So I'm really proud of that. And yeah, bring everybody out.
Great. Well, thank you very much. And we hope to see you all next week. Again, if you have any questions, give us an email at either Angela@BufordDigital.com or info@BufordDigital.com. Thanks, everyone. Hope to see you next week.
Thank you.